From the moment he could talk, Walter was captivated by the natural world. While other children might have played with toy trains, Walter was busy collecting insects in the sprawling gardens of Tring Park, the family's Hertfordshire estate. From a speech impediment to unaddressed learning challenges, his family supported him the best they could. By the age of 7, he boldly declared to his parents, "I'm going to make a museum," and true to his word, by the age of 10, he had amassed enough specimens to start one in a garden shed. Tring Park was his entire world at this stage of his life, shunning other children to hunt for insects in its vast gardens. Though the estate itself dated back to the days of William the Conqueror, the mansion itself had been built through the 1680s. The Rothschild family purchased it in 1872 as a country retreat and greatly expanded the house, giving it a unified French Renaissance Revival facade of red brick and stone dressings under a mansard roof. The interior was designed to be every bit as extravagant as the exterior, with a grand bifurcated staircase floating above dotted marble floors. We can imagine the Rothschilds entertaining not only nobility, but kings and queens for dinner parties. Each room was given the utmost attention to detail, from marble relief work to delicate plasterwork. Below intricate friezes, three-dimensional scenes came to life as the plaster almost appeared to free itself from the paneling. Though the room we can imagine the family using the most is the morning room, filled with natural light and overstuffed furniture. Despite its grand architectural features, this great hall became a comfortable gathering place for the Rothschilds. Tring Park, however, was not the only house that Walter grew up in. His grandparents' house, and later his parents' home in London at 148 Piccadilly, was every bit as grand, if not on a smaller scale. If you were visiting for a formal event, you would first be ushered into the reception room to await your welcome. Then you might mingle with other guests, perhaps in the library, amongst some of the most exquisite furnishings and finishings of the time. Finally, you would be brought into the ballroom, glistening from crystal chandeliers reflecting off of extensive gilding. But even being immersed in such luxury from a young age, it just wasn't for Walter. His passion for natural history only grew with time. His family, though skeptical, recognized his unwavering dedication to collecting specimens, and on his 21st birthday, his father gifted him a proper museum building on the edge of Tring Park. But this was no ordinary gift. It was the cornerstone of what would become one of the most remarkable private collections of natural history specimens in the world. In 1892, the Rothschild Zoological Museum opened its doors to the public. The modest beginning in a garden shed had blossomed into a grand institution. Walter employed an army of 400 collectors scouring the globe for the rarest and most exotic creatures. His museum became a veritable Noah's Ark, filled with specimens from over 48 countries. His life was anything but ordinary. Towering at 6 feet 3 inches and plagued by a speech impediment, Walter was a shy yet imposing figure. He often retreated into his world of animals and specimens, finding solace among his collections. Though his eccentricity was legendary, he famously trained zebras to pull his carriage and once drove it to Buckingham Palace to prove their tameness. All the while, his family had forced him to continue in their banking empire, which could not hold his interest. Around the time he turned 40, his father released him from those expectations, passing the baton to his younger brother and freeing Walter to forge his own path in the world. Walter's adventures weren't confined to England. He sent explorers to the farthest corners of the earth, from modern-day Hawaii to the Galapagos, gathering specimens and uncovering new species. His museum housed an astonishing array of creatures, from 300,000 bird skins to over 1 million butterflies and moths. Having such a massive collecting effort around the world, he needed a headquarters on the other side of the planet in New York, where he could meet with the most prominent traders and collectors from around the globe. To suit this purpose, he built a 6-story mansion in Manhattan at 41 East 70th Street. Entering the towering abode, we arrive in the foyer where we will continue up the curved staircase. Being the enthusiast he was, we'll find that some of the rooms are themed with nature, starting with the dog room, which includes not only statues of dogs and canines embroidered on pillows and chairs, but also plaster depictions of man's best friend are found in the frieze. Next we'll travel into the dining room, which boasts an incredible wall mural featuring geological sites from around the world, with dozens of species of trees scattered about. At the far end of the room, we find bonsai trees, clay pots, and other souvenirs from his travels abroad and the built-ins on either side of the fireplace. This theme continues into the library, where Walter was known to spend most of his time while in the house. Complementing the dining room's murals, the walls here tell the story of him collecting specimens. His designer, however, must have won out in the living room, which is classically styled with no true hints at Walter's personality. That being said, there were always fresh flowers filling each vase, rarely repeating themselves with the same species. Despite the family's vast wealth, Walter often faced financial difficulties. His commitment to his museum was unwavering, but it came at a cost. In 1931, he was forced to sell his prized bird collection to the American Museum of Natural History in New York, a sacrifice made to settle personal debts. It was later revealed that a former mistress and her husband had blackmailed him for nearly 40 years, adding to his financial strain. But even in the face of adversity, Walter's contributions to science were unparalleled. He described countless new species, including the Rothschild giraffe, and his collection significantly advanced scientific understanding. His work laid the foundation for modern zoological research, and his museum became a hub for scientists worldwide. Walter passed away in 1937, with a legacy that lives on through the Natural History Museum at Tring, which houses millions of his specimens, and continues to inspire generations of researchers and nature enthusiasts. His life, filled with curious adventures and remarkable discoveries, reminds us that sometimes the most extraordinary paths are the ones we forge ourselves. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Walter and his mansions down below in the comments section, and while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a fascinating episode of This House.